Welcome once again to the BBM Past Social Talks. I am Mapule and she's Akona. Today we are tackling the topic on dementia and Alzheimer, of which these two diseases are similar but in their own very unique way. You might be living with a person who's having dementia, or you might be knowing someone who's having dementia. And then so our topic today, we're going to talk about the two diseases, whereby we are going to learn and come with some ideas on how to help the people with Alzheimer and dementia, and to help all those people who are the carers of these people who are suffering from this disease. Dementia is the name for several conditions that leads to progressive loss of powers of the brain and changes the human behavior. Some people with dementia have problems when it comes to decision making and planning and carrying out the daily tasks. Alzheimer's disease, it is said that it was firstly described by a German doctor called Alois Alzheimer. And then this disease develop plaques and tangles within the structure of the brain. And then these plaques and tangles, they block all the normal all those normal chemicals that send messages throughout the brain, and as a result the brain cells will die and the brain will shrink. So what do you think on giving them the signs and symptoms concerning these two diseases?
Yes, when you're staying with a person with starting to have a dementia or Alzheimer, the person will start notice those signs. Maybe the person will fail maybe to remember some of the things, and especially the things that normally like the person used, especially maybe the purse. The person will also ask about the purse, where is my purse mostly, or will ask you as a child, who are you, because I forgot the memory, the communication between the cells in the brain, they're no longer working as normally. And then sometimes we'll ask even where the person is. We'll ask if this is the home, maybe it's her home or his home.
The symptoms of dementia and Alzheimer, they vary according to the type of the dementia people are having, and then they vary from one person to the other. Like you're saying, they'll develop thinking problems. There'll come a point where by a person is having confusion with unfamiliar settings. He's forgetting even important information, messages, names, and then one other thing, he's unable to carry out all those daily tasks that he used to do before, because he's now having memory problems. And one other thing, when you come to the part of the symptoms, they develop behavior changes. They'll start to feel confused, frustrated, anxious, because everything for them is something that they don't know actually. And then it is high time that we take these diseases serious, because like I've said, our society needs to be educated about these two diseases, and then need to be educated to get to know more on how to treat our elderly people, because in some communities you find that an older person with dementia who is not under a very good care, he will walk around without knowing where he's going to. He will walk around undressed, and then the following day they found an older person out there undressed, and in our communities they will regard him or her as a witch, of which that's why I'm saying, Hori, the people need to be fully educated when it comes to this part of dementia and Alzheimer. Another symptom is the physical change. They have loss of appetite, they can't swallow, and then they'll become thin, and then they have loss of control over their bladders, whereby nature will just happen as it wish, because those people clearly they are totally lost when it comes to the memory part. And then one other thing, what I would like to share with our fellow people there is that there is no cure for dementia, But as for Alzheimer, there are specifically drugs that they can prescribe for a person who is suffering from Alzheimer. And then for dementia, again, there are some, but a person will be referred for therapy, like go for it's an ongoing therapy out there, so that will make a person like slow the progression of this disease.
Okay, on the community, we'll find that there is this stereotype of an older people that they will say they are witches. Witches, they will find a person maybe naked during the night, maybe on the gate and all the stuff. And when they asking the person the name or where is the older person coming from, and then they will find that the older person didn't know even his or her name, and they will just label the person as a witch. We have to learn that this disease now it's more common, the Alzheimer, because the people now, they have stresses when they grow up, and they have a lot. It's a lot that is happening on our mental health, and it affects these things when you get older. And then the person, you'll find the older person, maybe you find on the other village, especially on the villages, you'll find an older person from other village will walk until to another village. And then when you find this person, they will say, no, it's a witch. This person is from that village. How come in the middle of the night to come to this side, and all those things. Those people with the Alzheimer, they don't understand. They just like they lost their memories, and at the same time they only remember mostly things maybe they happened long time ago. Maybe a person will say maybe he or she want a mom, like they're looking for their parents, which the parents are long dead. And then another thing, they also even forget their kids. You have, as a helper, as a person who stays with the people, you have to always remind the people that you say your name. Like mostly you have to say your name, that I'm Banbani, and then the person will ask, who's your dad or who's your mom? And then you also have to remind the person that you are my mom, you are my dad. They need a patient, they need our support. As especially as young ones, we need to learn to support our parents. We need to support our grandmothers and our grandfathers, instead of calling them wishes. And Ausmat, I heard that you also have an experience with your family.
Yes, when it comes to support structure, yes, you're right. These people, they need totally support from us. I once had an experience of my father who was suffering from dementia, and for us, the carers, we were confused, irritated, overwhelmed, but we have to be there. We were supposed to be there when it comes to my father, to give him necessary support, because both the carer and the patient, they all need each other. And then I'm going to speak from the side of the carers. We need to support them, to give love, take a walk with him, make him, even it can come to a point that you can play him music. You are trying to be there to give him support, playing music, like looking at all photos of him, like being there, because with this thing of dementia, the research said that sometimes, especially during the night, these people can come to their senses, whereas during the day they feel lost and confused. So with us, it is high time that we as society, we need to be educated to, as much as we can, give these people support, love, care for them, so that the stigma can be lessened, as you mentioned, that they will be walking around without even not knowing where they are going. So even for the carers also, we need to be patient, we need to give them love. I know it's quite daunting, and the experience of caring for the person with dementia, you also feel overwhelmed. And then for those people who don't have enough income, you are obliged to look after the person. But in some cases where people are able to afford those facilities, the homes for the people with dementia, then they are advised to can take the people over there. But for those who are not able to afford to pay the payment for those facilities, it is time that we need to be educated, to be there, to love our parents, to because they are now gone back to the stages of being a child,
And for the helpers, where they need a support, they can call also a helpline, which is 0860 102 681. And you can go also to Google and you search where you can find those therapies, where you can find maybe the counseling, and you can find the doctors who can assist on the disease that we are facing, the mental health that we are facing on these days. And also, as I was about to say, that there are therapies which is maybe they can also help the person who has a memory loss. Maybe those therapists, they have support groups on those therapies. Yes. And we can also use those to learn more and to get support. I know it's overwhelming to look after the older people. I know, because they just go back actually to the kids, and even things that they love mostly. They love those things that the kids, they like the stock sweets. They mostly like those sweets. They like the stock sweets, and they like yogurts and all the stuff. We just have to take care of them. They need love. They need us as their kids.
Our beautiful viewers there, though we are not health experts, but I encourage you, if you come across to this part whereby you had a person who's suffering from dementia, you can go and seek help in the hospital from the health professionals. They are there to give the necessary support.
Yes, beautiful viewers, please don't forget to subscribe, to watch us again, and comment. We love your comment. We love to see on your comment. We love to see where to improve and what to add. Thank you. We love you. BBM Social Pulse. Bye.